Hi folks, this is Don Meisner with the North Country Fishing Report. Boy, where do I begin? There's so much that's happened in just a week's time that I want to tell you about. So many good things, some things that aren't so good, like all the smoke that is coming down around us. And, you know, when I talk to people, they say, well, how's the smoke affecting you? I will tell you that I keep trying to go strong, but let's talk a little bit about what I think is so important. We had a kids fishing clinic that was put on by the Power Authority and the DEC and the people of Massena. And it was held at Hawkins Point, and it was a class from Jefferson School, actually two classes, fifth and sixth graders, that came out to learn about fishing. And so one of my roles was to teach them some of the things that I feel and know about fishing. It was so interesting to see these kids. Here's something that stood out to me. I would say 80% of the kids that were part of this were girls. Now, did they go around and did they say, who would like to learn about fishing? I don't know how the school actually did this, but there were so many girls that were part of this. And one of the questions that I asked the kids to begin with, I said, okay, how many of you have been fishing? And all but one of the kids that I saw had already been fishing. Now, when the DEC and the Power Authority had done this clinic over in Niagara Falls, and they planned to do it in Syracuse, they got a different response. An awful lot of these kids didn't or hadn't been fishing. It's part of our culture up here. Fishing is a huge part of who we are. And I think it's important that we realize it, and we also take pride in that. Well, it was great for me to be with these kids, and I had to teach them how to cast. Now, here was the limiting factor. The principal of the school said, we can't have the kids outside with this smoke coming down from Canada. The air quality is so poor outside, we can't subject them to that. So we were inside, and so we had to pretend we were casting. You know, that was quite a challenge to the kids as well. But I got to tell you, when you can spend the time with a group of kids, and let me tell you more about what makes this so special, because there were so many adult volunteers from our area that were willing to come and spend that part of the day helping these kids. And there were people from the Power Authority. There were even board members from Massena. Adrian Taraska came and spent his time with these kids. And it tells me so much about why we are so successful here in doing the things that we do to use fishing as a spark to create an economic burst of growth for this area. It's because of our volunteers, because of the people that live here. Not only are they so friendly to people that come from other areas, but they're willing and quick to offer their services to help us with anything we do. If it wasn't for the volunteers, we wouldn't be able to hold the tournaments and do what we do so successfully. So, the kids' fishing day was fabulous. I think the kids learned a lot. The Nature Center staff was there to teach them. They learned about fish ID from the DEC. They learned about how to tie the proper knots. And then they had me and my friends teaching them how to cast, how to imagine the target out there. That it's important if you're casting to realize you've got to cast to something. You've got to pick some structure that you think those fish are hiding in, around, or whatever, so that you can be a successful fisherman. And this is what we're trying to do. We know that we can't make them a fisherman right away, but what we can do is spark an interest that can help them develop a part of themselves that they may have never, ever had to search into. And so I think it's really important, and I'm so glad to be part of that day. Until next time, folks, this is Don Meisner with the North Country Fishing Report.